All right. Hey, everyone. Best day of the year, April 1st. Let's get to it. 7-1 was inverse variation. There's not really a ton. I want you to I don't really want to dive too much into this because it doesn't really have to do with the rest of the chapter, but it is good to kind of see what's really happening. Um, Two variables x and y show direct variation when you have y equals a times x, and inverse variation when you have y equals a divided by x. Um, and y is said to vary inversely with x when you have this. Just some technical terms. I would write down, maybe not all of it, but the stuff that's highlighted and underlined and all that. Here's kind of what's happening. This same stuff. Tell whether x and y show direct or indirect, or sorry, direct or inverse variation, or neither. Well, basically, if you divide by x, it's inverse variation. If you multiply by x, kind of in terms of a, direct variation. If you add or subtract, like we have here on B, it's neither. Now here's the problem. Both of these up here say y equals, so if you do not have y equals, you've got to have y equals. So divide to the other side, or multiply to the other side, or add or subtract, whatever it is. Same thing down here. We have y equals, so we already know this one will need to do a little bit of dividing. This one will need to subtract. Hopefully you can kind of compare it to what's happening. The question for number one is, does it matter that the y is on the other side? Well, then I brought up this over here. I was like, does this matter? Does the equal sign matter? They're like, well, no, not really. Well, this is 6, or y equals 6x, just like it's 6x equals y. It doesn't matter. So order doesn't matter. Tell whether they show direct inverse or neither. The best way I could explain it, because look, x times y, oops, sorry, x times y is not a times x, and y over x is not a over x, but they look the same. And so if we can at least get that concept down and say, like, look, when I did x times y, x times y, x times y, x times y, all of these are the same. And then when I do x divided by y, or sorry, y divided by x, y divided by x, y divided, so we get some different things. If you have one that's the same and the other that's different, this is going to say inverse variation. The one that is different, this one here, looks very similar to my inverse variation. So the one that's the same is not, the one that is different, that's how you know which one it is. This one, we got different answers for all of them, so this is a neither. More examples that I did on the next page. And I'm going to go a little faster. You can hit pause. So there you go. This time your inverse variation look-alike was all the same, so this must have been direct variation. And this one was just like the one we did. Then it gets to, look, it's literally just gonna like give you this. Like it's gonna be like a blank page almost, and it'll just look like this. And you're gonna go, what do I even do? We'll go back and read the directions. The variables x and y vary inversely, and y equals 4 and x equals 3. Write an equation that relates x and y. So step one, since they vary inversely, we're using our y equals a over x formula. 2, replace y with 4 and x with 3, because that's what it said up here. Y is 4 and x is 3. Then solve for a. So multiply both sides since we're dividing. And then rewrite the equation with a now as 12, and then replace, because up here it says replace x with -2. And the instructions will give a different number here, which is fine. Whatever that is, you'll just plug it into your x and figure out what y is. Because it says, then find y when x is, so we have to figure out a before we can plug in an x and figure out y. And yeah, that was pretty much it.